What's up, y'all? Welcome to Fury Talks. I'm your host, Seth Fury. So we live in a world where people are constantly looking for a role model. Someone they can look up to, someone they can aspire to be like, someone they can call goals. And that's fine. However, sometimes those role models don't live up to the standards that they portray themselves to live up to. And when that happens, it appears as if your whole life just comes crashing down. As if nothing else can be good in this life if it can't be good in their life. And I think that's a problem. But I'm not going to say too much about it here. I want to welcome my guests. We're going to talk about this together. So allow me to welcome back, he's been here before, my good friend, EJ King.
What's going on?
What's up, my brother?
What's going on, sir?
Hey, welcome back, man. It's your second time. How's life been for you?
It's been good. It's a little bit of a change, but good nonetheless.
So just to dive in a little bit about who you are, because I don't think I did too much last time. So EJ is a stylist, or was a stylist. You still styling?
I am still in fashion.
Okay, but now you're more focusing on the acting.
Yeah.
Congratulations to that. I've been
Branding,
seeing you getting some
acting,
roles.
yeah, hosting. I still love fashion. I still love what it is, but I just kind of want to try something different.
Speaking of fashion, tell me about them shoes, brother. What you got? You look like about to jump out the roof. Got the spring.
These is my
Those are fresh.
These is my swim shoes. These is my swim everyday walking
So
shoes.
they got the toes cut out in the heels.
And they got a spring on them.
That's fashion.
And Balenciaga makes them, and everybody don't like them, and that's fine with me because
I feel like you can pull them off probably in ways most people
I
couldn't.
think they're cool. You know, it sucks because you gotta really have the toes to fit into the slots.
Ah, got you.
You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
So I be struggling sometimes with this big toe to get that big toe in that slot.
All right, well, you pulled it off. You look fresh. So what I want to talk about is pretty much what's been being said all this week about Derrick Jaxn. And the whole shenanigans and craziness that's going around. Basically, if you guys don't know too much about it, Derrick Jaxn is actually like a motivator, relationship coach. Mm-hmm. He's written multiple books, and he's had women, mostly women, that have been feeding into everything that he said for, since the time he's come out, right? And he's made a great career off of that. I actually first heard about him when I first started Fury Talks because somebody came to me and said, I like your stuff because you're not like this guy, Derrick Jaxn. You actually tell it like it is in a way that doesn't feel like you're just telling the women what they want to hear, right? So I went and did some research. I looked him up and I said, okay, I can see how this guy is definitely favoring women as far as all of his advice.
Right.
It's almost as if everything he says, the woman is always right?
Right.
Which is fine, but you're not going to get too many guys to be a fan of yours. They're going to feel like this guy is basically selling hype.
Right.
Yeah, he's basically saying whatever he thinks the women want to hear to get a check. Right. And I feel like because of that, it set him up for disaster when this whole scandal came out because people were waiting for him to mess up so that they could go ahead and prove that everything that they thought themselves was true.
Right.
That he's just like everybody else.
Yeah.
So tell them what exactly happened from what you gathered.
I mean, from my understanding, I've seen a few of his videos, and from my understanding, he stepped out on his wife.
Yeah.
And it was like a full-on cheating that he admitted. And, we're just in a society where people love to hear the told you moment. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, I told you. Mm-hmm. And I think what he did in his formula is almost to like the think like a man formula.
Steve Harvey. Yeah. It felt
you know
like
what I'm
that.
saying?
Exactly.
And a lot of his was geared towards trying to coach women to deal with the relationships. But unfortunately, it wasn't an equal-sided thing.
And it was always more towards women.
It was always towards the women. So when he did fall short, it was so easy to crucify him because you're a hypocrite.
Yeah.
Regardless to how you want to spin it, regardless to how of a united front you want to show, you're a hypocrite.
Yeah.
You're a hypocrite in every sense of the word because that's like you as my trainer,
Yeah.
And you say, EJ, you got to eat right and do this and do that and do this. And then I find out,
I'm doing all the opposite.
You doing the whole opposite of what you're telling me. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
And it comes back to bite you in the ass. So it's easy to look at you and be like, well, how are you going to do that if you doing this, And I think that the idea of their united front seemed one-sided. It seemed like she was forced.
Yeah.
You know, in the sense of do this.
Yeah,
you know
exactly,
what I'm saying?
yeah.
It wasn't like, you know, let's come together, sit down, hold hands, and talk about it. You know, even when she did her own interview, you know, it almost was in the idea of like, he made his bed, he needs to lie in it, But as a Christian woman or a wife, you know, she has to take the high road and say, God's going to get him.
Yeah,
but the reality of it is, he did wrong. And it's not to say that she shouldn't forgive her husband or they shouldn't work it out or they shouldn't seek counseling. But I think that because he was going to be exposed and be caught up, he tried to jump in front of it in the way he knew how. Even when he critiqued his own video, by that point, this is a shit show.
So just because I think we kind of like dove into it really quickly. So Derrick Jaxn basically got caught cheating on his wife because one of the girls that he messed with revealed him through text messages and screenshots. And
like they always do.
I know, and that's the worst thing. So I guess at some point he blocked her because he was trying to get right with his wife in his life. And you can't just block people.
Like that's block feelings. You can't.
Exactly,
You know, and I think the problem is with men is that to get yourself out of hot water, you disregard the feelings of the next person. That means when you disregard their feelings, you disregard their actions of what it could be.
Because if I get blocked, I feel like I'm going to take every necessary measure to be heard. I'm like, because it would have been probably
much dismiss me.
Yeah, you could have been. He probably could have resolved it and handled it way better if he just had a conversation with her. But he blocked her, which made her want to go above and beyond. So in the end, she's winning right now because she's literally destroying his career right now. Well,
and it's not even destroying his career. You destroyed your career. You made a career based off of telling women that what their men were doing in this same situation. The fact that he was able to watch his video and critique it as if it's a straight. It was so like, yo, you're almost like a narcissist. You almost think that it's like that's okay, you know, because I do not like cheaters. You know what I'm saying? I've never cheated in any relationship I've ever been in.
Good,
And so if I got it takes too much planning and prepping and secrecy and lying and memorizing. And you got to, if it was just fucking, then it'll be just fucking and you don't have to worry about it. But you're conversating at text messages. She has now receipts to prove you made her feel like she was just as special as your wife.
Which is always going to be a lot worse than just sleeping with her.
Right.
Yeah, you're literally having a whole full romantic relationship.
Because you can almost dismiss a one-night stand. You can almost dismiss a drunken night I fucked up. You know what I'm saying? You can almost dismiss a planned cheating done right. But this, and who's to say how long it went on? I don't know. I didn't see the whole breakdown if she disclosed like how long they were in a relationship, but wasn't it somebody he was already talking to?
Yeah, it was somebody that he knew for a while, he claimed, and I guess he said they never had sex, which I think is some BS, but he said they had a sexual relationship as far as their flirtation.
So y'all sucking dick?
I don't think they did. Well, he was framing it as if he didn't have any sexual...
That you just kissed on the forehead.
It's like maybe they flirted and talked sexually, talked dirty, whatever the case may be. That's how he spun it. And so he felt as if by going to her, it would be like a safe zone in which he wouldn't have to feel forced to actually have sex with another person. But he felt like that was an outlet to let out some of his steam because he felt neglected from his wife. That's kind of what, because she just, whatever the case is, they were falling apart and she didn't want to be with them.
So he's saying, I thought he was saying that he did have sex with her.
Not from the interview from what I saw, he said it was never actually sex. Now, if he came out with a video afterwards and cleared up his...
okay.
Yeah, so,
I think that's a lie. I mean, but regardless to what it is, even something as minor as text messages, that's cheap. Anytime that you can share, whether it's a sexual photo, whether it's a sexual thought, whether it's an idea that you're allowing somebody else to have of you as if you're a single man, is cheating.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I guess that's what he tried to say. Like either way is cheating. But either way, however you spin it, sex or no sex, you're a married man that preaches about the uplifting of women and what women should do in these situations if this was them.
Yeah.
So the fact that you drug your wife on there to try to be your rock, right? Like you guys got this united, like, you know, she's here and we're working through it. Nothing about her body language, nothing about her appearance, nothing about her message after he wasn't in the video said we united.
Yeah.
She took the godly Christian route and said this is the right thing to do.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I think that if she dismissed her religion, it would be fuck you.
Yeah.
Fuck out of here.
Gotcha.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, you know, and I seen people calling her, you know, talking crazy about her and stuff like that. And, you know,
yeah, exactly.
Unfortunately, it's easy to critique and judge a person that lives in a glass house because you put yourself in there.
Yeah.
You know, we never knew his wife. I never knew what the lady looked like.
Yeah.
And so
until that day.
Yeah. And this is the idea of this is who you want to come on camera.
Yeah.
And to me, and that just showed as much. I don't give a fuck how I look.
Yeah.
Fuck this interview. I'm gonna sit here because
exactly.
You know what I'm saying? It's almost like I need you to come do this. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. But the bonnet, the outfit, the demeanor, how withdrawn she was, and
that was I'm already checked out.
Yeah, she checked out.
Exactly.
You know, and I can't have sympathy for your situation because you know what it reminded me of?
What's that?
It reminded me of Will and Jada. It reminded me when Will was sitting at that table, and it kind of was like, this is something that Jada was like, I need to come.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Let's discuss it.
Yeah.
Where I feel like he wouldn't have discussed it.
Yeah.
You know, and so.
But it's that's the thing when you put yourself in the public face, like people cheat. Every day.
Every day.
Nobody would have to go through this amount of scrutiny like they would because of the fact that people were waiting for their downfall.
Yeah.
They couldn't wait to tell this dude, you're a liar, you're everything I thought you were. And so it's obviously, you know, with Will and Jada, they had to do damage control, PR.
Yeah.
Because they had brands to worry about. So the thing about this whole situation that made me want to talk about it even more so is that I started to see the responses to their situation. I started to see, you know, girls talking about, there's no hope in this world if Derrick and his wife can't stick together. Like it was almost as if like they were the epitome of what a relationship and faithfulness looks like.
You never met the lady.
And you never met the guy.
But because he was such a respectful person that took on the feelings of women fell in love with the idea, which is the whole
think like
a man movement. You know what I'm saying? Where, you know, everybody praised Steve for this book. All the women was all for it and all the men hated it.
Yeah.
He was our real life version.
But the thing about it is that I look at is that I don't think that all of his life's work should be completely dismissed because he made a fault in his actual life. Because I feel like if what he was telling you during those moments while you were heartbroken or down helped you and healed you, then it couldn't have been that false just because of the fact that he, in his real life, made a mistake. See what I mean? Like his message doesn't necessarily always have to be something that he lives up to. I mean, if we look at a lot of pastors, they don't necessarily live the life that they teach us about with God.
So then they should be held accountable because as a pastor, you cannot preach one thing and live a different thing.
That's true, but you also shouldn't dismiss the message that's being given to you.
I have to dismiss part of it because you're a hypocrite.
He's a hypocrite, but he's also just human.
Right.
Not the message. Because I don't feel like a lot of what he was saying was like, okay, so as a man, I don't like to hear when guys give those types of messages that don't really feel neutral, you know, because I'll be honest, there are some moments where guys are wrong. There are some moments when girls are wrong.
Right.
He preached as if guys were always wrong. Yeah, and so that was the annoying part. But aside from that, some of the messages that he gave, just listening, because, you know, I like to study up on different people, I'm like, it's pretty accurate. It's a little biased, but at the same time, it's not that far off. I feel like it could really help people if they just listen to it.
As a motivational speaker, what I learned and what I've seen from his interview and from other motivational speakers, you're a talker.
Yeah.
So you're used to talking your way out of situations, in situations, giving advice. So to me, I felt like you were trying to talk your way out of it as if you were judging a stranger's life. And to me, you weren't really, it was a fake accountability. You know what I'm saying? Because this is what you do.
Yeah.
You are a talker. So I have to judge you accordingly to it. And by all means, everybody fuck up. I mean, who am I to say the man is wrong? I think that I'm not judging his overall life because that's not my business.
Yeah.
But if you're making a living on giving advice to women in particular about their disrespectful ass men.
Yeah.
And you are a disrespectful ass man.
Yeah.
What you say all now seems like bullshit. Now it seems like a con almost, like you've perfected the idea on this is my niche. This is my target. This is, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So the business aspect, you found your lane and you rolled it out.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, now I look at it like, damn, was you just saying it for a check because you knew that women was eating it up?
Yeah.
Or did you really live by your words? And now that you are on the chopping block, one mistake will cost you everything, because I don't think that he is a bad man.
Yeah.
I just think that you are a hypocrite.
And he's the wrong person to give.
And you're the wrong person to now give a message.
Yeah. So I think that would probably be the most that I would take from this situation. I would say that he himself ruined his credibility, so nobody wants to hear anything that he has to say. However, I don't think that just because he was somebody you idolized or looked up to for a relationship guru, that you should dismiss all the advice that he gave and just suddenly act like all men in the world ain't shit. Just because he in that instance wasn't shit. You see what I mean? Because he could be a good guy. Maybe that was just one bad mistake he made. It got blown up because of his exposure. But I don't feel as if when girls get online and start talking about this, all hope is gone. I'm like, that's ridiculous. Like, he made a mistake, not the messages that he was given.
I think to anybody though, I think that nobody should look at any one person and base their soul life and idea of who they are off of somebody's advice.
Exactly.
I think advice is exactly what it is. You take it, you receive some of it.
If it applies to you.
If it applies to you, if it doesn't, but if you don't, then you know. But if you follow this man word to a T and you feel like my man is, because if he says something, that's your fault. Then that's your own stupidity. You're supposed to take the advice and apply it accordingly.
Yeah.
I just, and this may feel a little off topic, but it's almost just as fast as the world canceled like R. Kelly.
Okay.
For years, the man has been a musical genius.
Yeah.
For years, the man has wrote songs that are timeless.
Yeah.
Because we know the reality of the man today, does that stop his genius? Does that stop his music from being timeless? Or do you disregard it all because we realize you kind of a creep. You're really a monster. You know what I'm saying? But it doesn't stop the idea that, because I heard some people be like, shit, I still like R. Kelly. You know what I'm saying? But and it's in the interim of, does it stop and for Derrick, does it stop his philosophy and his advice because we now realize you one of the dog ass niggas that you beat down, or do we continue to listen to you and give you the chance, or do we cancel you out because you're a fraud?
Yeah.
And I think that we're in the time now where social is very strong. The opinions of fans and comments and, like you said,
cancel culture.
Cancel culture is
yeah.
And to me is really weird that we're in a day to where people can say, Seth, what you said yesterday was stupid. I'm not gonna follow you no more for that.
Yeah.
And I think that I don't have the ability to cancel anybody, but I do have the ability to make the decision whether I want to follow your journey on and support your movement, or do I just want to back away from it. I can't cancel you because I don't have that power.
Well, you can't cancel somebody personally yourself, but I do believe that the way social media works nowadays, it's just like this big game of just like high school cafeteria talk. Yeah. Like one person decides they don't like the unpopular person, everybody gangs up on them, and it almost becomes the cool thing or the fun thing to do.
Right.
And I've seen artists that I know personally that I think are cool people that just suddenly fell on the wrong side.
Yeah, of a
and they
situation.
just get attacked,
right.
And I'm just like, damn, that's so brutal because like, how did they become the person that everybody just hates?
I really feel like that's the arrogance of people.
Yeah.
The idea that I feel like I can judge you enough and say that you are the absolute worst, you're canceled to that, as if my slate is clean.
Exactly.
As if I have everything together to where I can nail you to a cross and walk with my head high, as if somebody was to dig up my stuff, you can cancel me. You know what I'm saying? For any small thing. So I don't agree with that. I don't agree with the idea that we feel like because we're upset or don't like you or don't agree with you, you're canceled.
I think the whole nature of the canceling is that people have this built up anger inside themselves, and they look for somebody to release that frustration on.
Well, that's social.
That's really what it is. Like they find somebody that represents everything they hate, and even if they don't know them personally, they're like, I'm going to get that girl. I'm going to get that guy.
Yeah.
And that's the part where it's just like, you know, you could have been innocent in this whole thing. You could have been making the same flaws as every human being, but because you are the one in the spotlight, they're like, get her. And that's the one I'm going to make feel bad. I'm going to call.
But it's internet gangsters because you don't have to have a face.
Yeah.
You don't have to worry about the repercussions of somebody whooping your ass if they see you. You know what I'm saying? So as comments and as people, we can just type away and say what we want to say, you know? And I think that I would never cancel a man out for a mistake, but what I cannot agree with is you built your career and life off of giving advice and the idea of how women look at you. You're like the ultimate man. Yeah. So everybody has to be compared to you. When the reality of it is, you're no different from the people that you know what I'm saying, that you
I think that was the reality that hit a lot of women.
Yeah.
That made them just feel like, if he can't do it, no one can. But I'm just like,
the great white hope is fell short, but
I'm like, there's still good guys out there. You know what I mean? A lot. And he was just one. And like I said, he could still be a good guy. He may have just made a bad mistake, but because of his career, he may not be the one that we want to hear from anymore.
You have to think about it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I get mad when a person flake on me. So to know that you've cheated and to know that you done it for so long and you went back to somebody that you felt familiar with. You went back to a person that you once were intimate with. So it don't matter if y'all didn't have sex this time. You still had sex with this person. So the fact that you gave her the intimacy of conversation, of feeling, of venting to her.
But see, here's the thing, and not to justify what he did, because like you said, there's no justification for cheating. But based off of what I heard, it appeared as if his wife decided she didn't want to be with him at the same time that he had given his life to God. So he was mixing in this Christianity belief, and he felt like, why would the time that I decided to give myself be the time that my life falls apart? Suddenly my wife doesn't want to be with me. So he basically was just like saying, fuck it all. Like, I'm just going to forget about this whole Christ thing. I basically just want to go and live a life almost carefree. And so that's when he started to go on these Miami trips and invite these girls. He was living in a rebellious idea in the moment, you know, and this was probably all stemming from the rejection of the wife that he most likely wanted, but didn't want to be with him. So it's like, it's not as if it all just came out of nowhere, like they were on the best of terms and suddenly he was like, I'm about to just step out. Sometimes people react emotionally and they do things that aren't really at the best heart of the person they're gonna, you know, hurt. But it wasn't, I don't know, I feel like it was during the separation. I think it was the fact that maybe he decided he wanted to get back with the wife. He blocked the girl, and that's when the girl decided to kind of post everything and just ruin his life because she didn't like the rejection herself.
Right.
So well, I don't know. I'm not justifying it, but it's,
Fortunately for us, I don't judge what happens with people behind their closed doors. Because that's not my business. But do I take in consideration that maybe this is your story that you're telling to the world? Because as we know, social media, news, what you put out there, we don't know if that could be the case.
So this could have been just what makes you sound
because
innocent.
You have this lady sitting right here looking as crazy as she looked. I don't know that you didn't just, this is not what you're saying. And she's, in either way it goes, she's holding your hand, she's rocking with you. It forcefully or not, she's trying to show you that she a rock. But I'm such a demeanor person. You can tell like the like her mind was in a, I just want to get this over it. Fuck you, fuck it. Like it was there. And I know that people go to religion a lot and say, you know, God is going to do that. But the reality is sometimes God say, bitch, wake up. Cause he a dog. Now, if this was the case, and they were separated, and it was all of this, then by all means, you wasn't cheating.
Yeah.
Because you're separated. Regardless if you're married. I know people that are married that haven't got divorced yet, but they are separated, you know? And so I tell people all the time, like, so you take people at face value. If he would have been transparent and say, shit, as a man, I fuck up. I know I can give you this advice because I too have fucked up.
Yeah.
Then we wouldn't have held you to this great standard of perfection because you've admitted I fucked up.
Yeah.
But because you've never admitted from day one when you started the little car videos and the little split screens and you got the breaking down on why somebody did something, you still held the women up as he the dog.
Yeah.
And you took yourself out of it as if you never were a dog.
Yeah.
So the fact that now we can break you down like this and you had to come clean, I don't know if I believe your story that you telling me on this live with this lady sitting in this bonnet and his glasses and his sweatsuit and you I just don't believe it.
Gotcha.
So now you're a walking meme. Now you are a joke. And like social media, things will blow over.
Yeah.
And maybe his career won't be over. But, you know, it is a wake-up call to people following false prophets. You can be a prophet and still preach false news. You know what I'm saying? Like you can still be who you're meant to be and not be truthful.
Yeah. Maybe a part of who he was preaching is who he maybe wanted to be.
Then he should have said, these are my struggles.
Yeah.
As a man, you know what I'm saying? If you're going to be a transparent person, it would have been easy to be like, shit, me and my wife go through shit all the time. You know what I'm saying? We not even eye to eye right now. You know what I'm saying? But that's my wife. I'm going to work it through. These are the things that the women in the world can be like, shit, the man said he wasn't perfect.
So let me ask you this. On the whole idea of us looking up to people, them having moments in which they fall short of that image that they portray. I saw something else with Kirk Franklin, who is a legendary gospel singer.
Right.
And he had a moment in which he did something I guess you would call ungodly, where he basically was cussing out his son like any other dad probably would. But it was interesting to see how most of the people were on his side. I think they were just like, look, he's human. You know what I mean? Like they understood why he was cussing out his son.
Right.
Because the son was being very, very disrespectful. Right. But then there were people in the comments that were just like, it doesn't matter. He's a man of God. He should have handled it this way. And they started to judge him. And I'm sitting here reading these comments like, regardless of what he did to his son or said to his son, that is not ever going to erase all the years of joy and faith that he gave me. You know what I mean? When I think of...
I don't look at Kurt and say, oh my God, I'm not buying another Kurt. No, I actually like that Kurt cussed your... You're human.
Exactly.
And I think people have this idea, and I had this conversation with my mom on why I really don't go to church anymore. Because it's so easy for Christians or people of religion to condemn somebody for being human. The man sing happy songs. He sing gospel. He a man of God. Is Kurt gonna pass away and get the knocking on? And God gonna say, Kurt, turn your ass around because you cussed your son out, not knowing that he was recording you. It was a private moment. The son was fed up, and once again, that's their personal business. That I don't know what drug y'all to that point. You know what I'm saying? That's not my kid. That ain't my dad.
Exactly.
I've seen pastors do a lot more crazy, shady, unforgivable shit than Kurt cussing his son out. His son. Fuck, and I'm sorry, and I don't like that they be like, Christian, you can't curse, you can't do. Fuck that. It don't stop. It does not stop my heart. It does not stop you from being a good person. It don't stop the man doing good on the world because he cussed his son out. At this point in this reality is we two grown adults. So the moment you got the cussing at me, you want me to say, son, I'm gonna pay for you. Nah, fuck you. I ain't gonna pray for you. I will pray for you. But not in the sense of I'm just gonna allow you to disrespect me as another grown man to another grown man.
Yeah, because he was like 33. It's not like he was a 17-year-old kid.
Because the reality of it is family, friends, people alike, we are people. That's it. What ties us is genetics and blood, but the reality is we people.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? I was telling, I was like, and it's crazy because it be people closest to us that harm us. So if family is the ultimate, like, oh my God, you can't do this because it's family, then why do family be killing family members?
Yeah.
Why do people be hurting family members? Like, so I can't judge the man because he had a blow up.
Yeah.
That's his business.
Yeah.
And I think that he didn't have to address it and come clean because at the end of the day,
again, it's the brand.
It's
like the stardom will force you to have to say things that you don't normally have to justify.
Because we're a cancel culture,
Yeah.
but that's unfair because I'm pretty sure somebody today got their ass cussed out from the pastor that is running y'all church. You know what I'm saying? You got the old popes and everybody raping kids and stuff like that. And y'all worried about this. I think the problem is everybody be worried about somebody else's business.
Yeah.
And that is the problem.
Yeah.
If you focus on your business as much as you focus on somebody else's business, bitch, you probably can solve your own problem. Don't solve my problems.
Yeah.
I don't need no help. I don't need a tutor. Solve your problems. And I think that's the problem with what's that man's name? The cheating husband?
Oh, Derrick.
Derrick, that's his problem because you so busy solving all these ladies' problems.
Yeah.
Your house broken at home.
Yeah.
So maybe you should sit your ass at home and figure out your own shit. Then come back and try this again. But everybody's so invested in everybody else's life and trying to fix their problems. Why are you not fixing where your baby daddy at?
Well, because all they really want to do is they want to compare their lives to a fantasy life.
Yeah.
Yeah, they are looking at all these images of perfection and they want that. So they'll, probably dog out their men for not acting like Derrick.
Right.
When in actuality, Derrick is just like their man. They're able to show all their sides and Derrick gets to show you the side he wants to show you. Right. So that's why it's unfair. And so it's kind of like, yeah, you're right. You should just be more real with the people. That way they'll kind of relate to you more if you show both sides, like I am flawed.
Yeah.
And this is what, happens. But at the end of the day, you still, as a person, you have to be accountable to be able to know what information you take to heart and what stuff you let not affect your actual life moving forward.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like with Kirk Franklin, with Derrick, regardless of how they are living their personal lives, if they cuss their kids out, I'm still always going to remember the messages and the feelings Kirk gave me.
Right.
And if you're a woman and Derrick was able to help you through a relationship problem with some particular advice he gave you, then his purpose was served.
Yeah.
And that's really it. Whether you hate them for the rest of your life,
right.
Who cares?
Now, if we found out Kurt was at home whooping ass and stepping out and cussing, and you were completely different from the image that you have been all these years, that's a different story.
Yeah.
But a moment in a heated argument from one person being disrespectful to another, I say it all the time, there's no age limit on disrespect.
Yeah.
There's no age limit on when I'm going to cuss your ass out because respect is respect across the board. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so if the son had never recorded the conversation, Kirk would still be on everybody's oh. But the reality is he still go home and deal with the same issues and his same problems in his life. And so I think that people live this fantasy or idea or illusion with these celebrities that how much do you got to see to know that they're human? How many more deaths or things we see in the news from these killings or just they be on drugs or whatever the case may be, they are human. So we put people on a pedestal for us to be let down when they fail.
Yeah.
But if we stop putting people on these grand pedestals, then I can judge you for the same person that I am. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. But because I put you way up here, then you feel your feelings are
like your life is a failure.
Yeah, you almost feel like, oh my God, I'm so let down. How could he? No, because they people, they human, nonetheless. And I think that's the biggest thing, and that's why I don't agree with cancel culture. That's why I don't agree with people interfering with personal lives unless you're intentionally hurting. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
The R. Kelly thing for me was a big thing because you're intentionally hurting young women.
See, that was something different because it's one thing for him to make someone to make a human error, like cheating or cussing. But when you get to like a pedophile type world, that's something. Yeah, now at that point, it's a whole judgment of character.
So I no longer.
That's different.
And as much as I was an R. Kelly fan, I love his music. I think that because this is something that you're doing today. This ain't something that they picking up from many years ago.
Like Bill Cosby. This is like
like you're still doing this today, which means you are a living monster. The idea of who you portray to us is not the person, and that's what I mean. That's not Kirk Franklin.
Yeah.
Because a man cussed his son out, now he has to be like, oh my God, you're not a Christian no more. No.
Yeah.
It is what it is. You know what I'm saying? That's that man's personal life, and he raises his kids and deal with his kids how he wants to deal with his children. Because we're people does not make one bad trait you a bad person.
Yeah.
So if you are a liar and you are my friend, I have to accept you for your imperfections.
Yeah.
I just can't believe you. But don't mean you're a bad person.
Yeah.
You'll give me the shirt off your back. You know what I'm saying? You would love me to the end. You just be lying. If you are a thief, it don't make you a bad person.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You can be rescuing kids and run into a burning building. You just don't know how to keep your hands to yourself, which means I can't have you around my stuff. But you're not a bad person. You know what I'm saying?
No, I get that. I got family like that.
It doesn't make you a bad person.
Yeah.
You just have imperfections and flawed like everybody else.
You accept them for what you know of
Yes.
them. And you adjust yourself to be able to live with them.
Yeah.
Exactly. Like you said, like,
you know what I'm saying?
I have friends where they are diarrhea at the mouth.
Yeah.
I love them to death, but I'll never tell them a secret.
I can't tell you my business.
That's just how we function, and that's the only way we can be in each other's lives.
Right.
You know, I can't force the way I am onto you. Exactly.
But it doesn't make you a bad person because I can love you all the same, but I accept who you are.
So on the topic that I was talking about earlier, in which people will find something that affects their personal life and pick a person to attack because it makes them, it kind of reminds them of all the anger they've had in their life. I feel like Danileigh has been taking the brunt of the frustration of people like never before, and it's crazy.
They've been whooping Danny ass.
Yeah, and I've known her since she was like 19, before she was even Danileigh. She was with the group, and she's always been a cool, very talented person that had lots of respect amongst everybody in LA. And when she first came out, still lots of respect because she was just all about her artistry. At some point, when she got into a relationship with the baby, everybody just changed their view of her. It was like they no longer respected her as the artist. Now she was just that girl that was dating the guy. You see what I mean? And it all changed from there. And it's crazy where it went from there. What are your thoughts on that?
So, once again, Danny's a friend of mine. And I think Danny is a awesome girl. And I think she's a cool girl. And she's not a racist, and she is, and she's young, and she is caught up in fame, and now you have to take what comes with fame.
Yeah.
So Danny has said something, and I commented on Danny's page, and I came to Danny's defense because I did not know the full backstory of her and the baby. You know, I knew that I knew like social media, and I knew from, the shade room, stuff like that, they've been talking, but that's as deep as it went.
Yeah.
I didn't know the backstory with the baby mama. I didn't know none of all that, you know. So Danny, I knew she had a new song out, and that was that. And so I came to her defense on her record, you know?
Yeah.
And
you're talking about the Redbone record.
The Redbone record, right. So,
which, for those of y'all who don't know, it was basically a song that Danny created that was more so saying that her man prefers a Redbone, right? Was that kind of with
prefers, or her man wanted her and she was a Redbone? Like basically,
Okay.
I don't know if prefers a Redbone, but at the moment, this who he want. You know what I'm saying? And she happened to be a Redbone. And so it became this big debate because I had went on there, and people don't know me for, if you don't know me, you don't know me, but I have like this sarcastic humor. So, I said us black women. So then people are going ham like, EJ, you're not a woman, and da-da-da-da, and she not black, and da-da-da. And so it became this thing when it wasn't, I was coming to the defense of the idea that people were saying that, oh, she racist, she did that because the baby mama's brown skin, da-da-da-da.
Yeah.
I'm like, y'all hating on Danny. She got the hot rapper, and y'all upset.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? My friend got him. Oh, well.
Yeah.
And that's what I was coming to the defense of. I was coming to the defense of damn, let the girl breathe. You know what I'm saying? Like ever since she started talking, everybody got something to say. But
you know, they didn't like her even before that statement. I think a lot of the energy that you would read in the comments would be that it appeared as if she was more into him than he was into her. But and so that energy started to make her, not my opinion, but it started to, based on the comments, as if it took away from some of her star power and made it appear more like in a groupie fashion. And that's kind of where I was like, but Danny's super talented herself. So it's like the fact that y'all are treating her like she's not an artist already.
Right, because he's the bigger artist.
That's what it was. And so at that point, I started to see somewhat of a shift in which people just started to bash on her because they don't like to see a woman appear to be chasing after a man. That goes against everything that they believe in. And so it starts to make them feel some kind of way. So they start to attack her.
I just think that I think this is where half the problems begin, you know, is that because everything is such a social world, people feel like people invest their time in your life, in your brand, in your dating, in your downfall, in your uprise. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And the reality of it is, you know what is shown to you. You know a clip on Instagram. You know a minute video. You know what's posted. As fans or as, you know, onlookers, we often feel like we have the right to break down or have an opinion. I've read so much stuff, and to be the person on the behind the scenes, be like, people would comment strong as if they were sitting right there and knew everything that happened. You don't know what their relationship was. You don't know, and even if it was that he liked her more or she liked him more than he liked her, he liked her. Yeah. He co-signed her. He did everything that a nigga showing, I like this young lady. And
honestly, he could have just maybe not been as an affectionate of a person.
But do we know the baby to be affectionate with anybody out? Yeah. Do we know?
Well, that's what I'm saying. Exactly. So based on what the content they provide us, it paints a picture based off of what they're trying to tell.
But I can see she's on his jets. They're doing videos. They're hugging. He's reposting. He's commenting.
Exactly.
So I don't understand where people be like, she's chasing him. To me, I feel like they both equally engaging. Yeah. So who am I to say you're chasing her because you don't like her, you like him more, or you feel like I have the insight and the know and this and that. And that's what I'm saying. The time and energy that people invest in trying to figure out what these two people are doing, instead of figuring out why your baby daddy ain't came home yet. Yeah. Why your light's not paid. Yeah. Why your situations aren't covered and taken care of, but you want to be so invested in another person's life and couple. And today that's what it is. That's what social media is. So cool. So now that we're invested in it, you guys now want to cancel her because she made a song. So I came and said, well, she is a yellow bone or you know what I'm saying? Red bone. Yeah. So I had so many black women like, she's only doing that to taunt the baby mama, da da da. Yeah. So some people gave me the backstory on the issues with the baby's mama and Danileigh. Yeah. So once people kind of gave me some insight, I backed out of it because this no longer is my business. I'm coming to my friend's defense because I will come to any of my friends' defense if it's something that I feel like, what the fuck is y'all talking about? Yeah. Get over it. You know what I'm saying? Like, it is what it is. But once people were like this, that, and the other, or taking my little jokes and stuff like that out of context, I said, all right, I'm out of it. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Yep. Because this is not my fight to fight because I don't even know enough about y'all dating. I don't, because not that I don't give a fuck, but I have a household full of bills. I got my own career. I got a lot of shit that I got to figure out myself. I just seen my friends being attacked online for dating, you know, the rapper that everybody want. So I'm commenting like, haha, she got him. Next time, shit, do y'all do deals and y'all can get the man. You know what I'm saying? It is what it is. But I didn't have enough energy to dig deeper in it. So when I heard the backstory, I said, well, shit, I'm out of it. I don't know. I can't talk to that because I don't know what the intentions were. Yeah. I'm just saying, don't be talking shit on my friend.
Yeah.
Period.
Exactly.
But the reality of it is, the girl still went through a heartbreak. She still went through a breakup. You know what I'm saying? Like, and she still has to go through that as a young woman navigating through her career. This won't be her last relationship. This won't be her last ridicule moment. But the reality is, people don't have the sympathy no more because, like you said, this is a battle that's been going on.
They probably had this battle their whole life growing up.
Yeah, so I stepped out of it.
They finally see someone they can attack and get their frustration out on.
Right.
And they're like, that's who we're gonna attack.
Yeah, you're right. I'm
not
a black
tear
woman.
her life down because we could never tear down the life of whoever bothered us in
right,
high school.
Who bothered? Right,
up.
exactly. And I then told the girl on Instagram, I said, baby, you absolutely right. I'm not a black woman, and I'm not here to fight this fight with y'all.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I'm sticking up for a friend of mine. I would do it for anybody of my friends, and so I then bowed out gracefully. You know what I'm saying? Because I don't want to keep. And I erased my comment. Yeah. I don't want to keep seeing it pop up. I don't want to respond to no more people.
Yeah.
Once I got the backstory on what the song could have been or the idea of what it could have been, I backed out of it.
So to recap, the most important message to take from this episode is that nobody is perfect. Yes, it's fine to have a goal. Yes, it's fine to idolize somebody if you like the way that they live their life and the things that they believe in. However, you cannot give them so much power that if they ever fall off, that you suddenly stop believing in the things that meant something to you. Whether it's through church, whether it's through a motivational speaker, or just anybody that you've ever looked up to in your life. At the end of the day, they're human. They are not invincible. They're going to have the same flaws that you would have. The only difference is they often only show you a certain side of them, which gives you a false sense of reality. And that can be a lot of pressure on the average guy who's trying to live up to that hype, or even the average girl that's trying to look for that type of relationship. I do believe that self-love is very important, and you should have a certain standard and respect for yourself. However, that has to be something that you personally believe you deserve yourself, not because you saw that that's the way it functioned in somebody else's relationship. Alright y'all, so that's it for Fury Talks. Thank you so much for watching. EJ, thank you again, my brother, for being a part of the show. Always a pleasure. Tell everybody how they can find you.
Oh, y'all can find me how y'all can find me. Shit, I'm just playing. No, y'all can find me at all my social handles is EJKing21. So if you want to follow me, if you want to support, holla at me. If you don't, block me. Simple.
Cancel them.
Cancel it. Shit.
As always, like, comment, subscribe if you haven't already, and turn on the post notifications so you know when the next episode is coming out. Till next time, Fury Talks. Love y'all. Peace.